By 1967, Sammy Davis Jr.'s neglect of his marriage to actress Mai Britt was causing tension. But nothing slowed Sammy down. In early 1968, Davis was in New York rehearsing for the London opening of his musical Golden Boy. On April 4th, his valet rushed to his dressing room and broke the news that Dr. Martin Luther King had been assassinated.
I know he found it horrible. It was devastating. I mean, Martin Luther King was such a wonderful person, and to hear that he was killed was an enormous loss for us all, no matter what race.
Entertainer Ben Vereen was in the London company of Golden Boy.
Sammy went that night on Johnny Carson and told the nation to stay in the consciousness of King and keep the peace. From that point, we went to Chicago, and I went with this man to every organization that he spoke at, the gangs of Chicago, the Blackstone Rangers. He would go into their meetings and tell them, and I'd hear them call him everything but a child of God. And he stood there and he took it. He said, call me what you want. He said, hate my guts, but keep the peace. Keep King's spirit alive. Do not go into the streets and burn and kill. Please.
Grief-stricken, Davis threw himself into campaigning for Robert Kennedy's presidential bid. In the wake of the King assassination, Davis believed the country needed Kennedy more than ever. Dean Martin's daughter, Dina Martin.
Bobby was much more liberal. I mean, he was ready to help with any kind of marches and things. He was ready to help the blacks at that time.
Davis wanted to campaign for Bobby Kennedy full-time, but work commitments prevented him. In May, Davis went to London to open in Golden Boy. There, Sammy noticed a young dancer he met in New York, Altavice Gore.
We opened at the London Palladium, and me playing the part of his sister, he didn't realize that when I came dressed in a white dress with frills down the back, I remember it looked like Rita Hayworth or Ava Gardner. And he said, who is she? Wow.
Gore was cautious. Sammy was, after all, married. And he was still involved with singer-dancer Lola Falana.
When we met, it wasn't love at first sight. It was, I liked his mind, his brain, and his inclination of wanting to know a lot of things and knowing a lot of things, not having a formal education.
Just as Altavice and Sammy were getting acquainted, Davis received dreadful news.
Okay, so at first I thought that he just had an eye for European women. Now I'm seeing that he has an eye for beautiful women.
On June 4th, Robert Kennedy was assassinated in Los Angeles.
Sadness and tragedy and complete sort of void and emptiness. I just hope that the assassinations that have been going on in America and that unwanted violence will not have, maybe my people will come to their senses and stop it.
He was devastated. Devastated, because he knew them.
Davis went into an emotional tailspin of alcohol, drugs, and overspending. He partied with rock stars like Jimi Hendrix and Mama Cass. Sammy even developed an interest in Satanism. In his memoirs, Davis explained he explored Satanism for sexual kicks.
He would go to these meetings, and he said to me, he said, these guys are trying to get laid.
One night during the run of Golden Boy, a process server walked down the aisle and onto the stage. In front of a packed house, Sammy was served a summons to pay outstanding bills at several London stores. Gary Smith produced 7 TV specials starring Sammy.
Sammy was about making statements. Jewelry, clothing, acquisitions, about making statements that showed you, I have everything that I can want, because I never had it growing up.
Sammy, let's say hypothetically he made $8 million a year, he would spend 11.
All that turmoil wasn't helping Sammy's family life. Finally, in mid-1968, Mai made the painful decision to separate from Sammy.
She just said, I can't take this anymore. She said, and I never want to get to the point that I hate you. She said, because you're a nice person, but you're just pointed in the wrong direction. Now, by this time, I realize what's going on, and I'm caught up it's like that mouse that runs on that wheel, and I can't get off it.
Sammy was too much of an entertainer, and I was too much of a homemaker and a mother. And it's very difficult then to combine both of them.
That fall, the London run of Golden Boy wrapped. By then, Sammy's affair with Lola Falana was over, and the romance with Altavis Gore was heating up. When Sammy and Altavis returned to the United States, their relationship began to turn serious. In the meantime, Mai filed for divorce. The decree became final in December, just as Sammy turned 43.
A wonderful thing with the divorce was that we remained good friends, and that I am very appreciative about. We were good friends the rest of his life.
Some months later, during a rare week off from performing, Davis felt ill. A series of tests uncovered a diseased liver and potentially cancerous throat polyps. Davis was ordered to stop drinking and smoking, but Sammy ignored the advice. Friend, writer James Kotsyllabus Davis.
Sammy, I could never say was a big drinker. He just was a steady drinker. And it was understandable. The pressure of his life, of that travel, of performing, being up all the time in front of those footlights is, pressure indeed.
Despite the health scare, Davis continued his nonstop working and partying. Later that summer, the entertainer flew to London to start filming One More Time with fellow Rat Pack member Peter Lawford. Friends Roman Polanski and Sharon Tate threw a party in Sammy's honor. On August 9th, Sammy received horrific news about a mass murder in the Hollywood Hills.
The people who were killed by Charles Manson's gang were all the people that Sammy ran with. Tate had just left London, where Sammy was, and had gone to America, and then a few days later, the whole thing happened, and he read in the papers that she had been killed. And he said to me, he said, if I'd been back in Los Angeles, he said, I'd have been there, and he'd have been killed. I think God had his arms around Sammy a lot.
It's crazy how you can see things like that, the people that you hang with, the people that you be around, and something happens to one of them, you can see how it could have caused harm to you.
Coming up.
Well, I invited all of his ex-girlfriends to dinner, and I cooked.
At 43, Sammy Davis Jr. was a swinger who couldn't have his fill of chicks, money, cigarettes, and booze. The last thing the entertainer needed was a wife, but he was about to get one. At the end of 1969, Davis returned to the United States and to his life on the road. In May 1970, Davis was flying to a gig in Philadelphia when he proposed to his 26-year-old girlfriend, Altavis Gore.
It was raining that day, so he said he couldn't play golf, so that's why we got married. I'm laughing, but it's true.
Sammy installed his new wife in his luxurious Beverly Hills mansion.
It was an enormous house across from Pickfair in Beverly Hills, and Sammy was hardly there.
Why do you think it was so important for him to get another wife? I mean, let's be honest, Sammy Davis Jr. was playing the field. And honestly, after he got divorced, I felt like he deserved to play the field. So why was it so important for him to get hitched again?
There was a full staff, cooking every day to feed themselves. 2 huge refrigerators were filled with food that nobody ever ate, and it was very extravagant. Sammy worked to make money, and he didn't really know where it went.
One thing was certain, the money didn't go into a savings account.
He got her a Rolls Royce and put her name on the license plate. He wanted her to be well dressed. The clothes he bought for her were extraordinary. He'd go to Chanel and just wipe the place out. And, Chanel. I mean, right in Paris, and with fabulous fur-lined raincoats and things. Really, the extraordinary clothes of the world were put on her.
He wanted to make me Cinderella. He just wanted to make me happy, and I made him happy.
Sammy lavished money on Altavis, but not much time or attention. Theirs was an open marriage, at least on Sammy's part.
Sammy was very honest with her. He said, look, I'm going to be on the road. You're going to be in Hollywood, Beverly Hills, and I'm not going to be alone when I'm on the road. And I'm not going to ask you to be any more alone than I will be.
Altavis took it in stride.
So I invited all of his ex-girlfriends to dinner. And I cooked.
Singer and friend Lorna Luft.
And she didn't tell him. And she had a lovely dinner, and they were all there, and she just basically wanted to say, hi, I'm his wife, and I don't hate any of you. And it was and Sam walked into the house and almost had a heart attack.
She was adorable. I don't think she understood what she was getting herself into. I think she sincerely loved him.
Davis kept up a frenzied lifestyle on the road, and he didn't slow down at home.
He only needed about 20 minutes sleep a month, I think. And the parties lasted and went on and on and on. So it was the place to be.
On his bar, you'd have Chivas Regal, and you'd have all your good scotches and wines, and then he'd have a little jar of cocaine.
I think I understand why he had to get married the second time. Each marriage represented a different part of his life. The first marriage was his family. You know, that's where he had the kids and the whole family lifestyle. But the second wife was more like glam, you know, where he got to party and have a little bit of fun, but he didn't stop her from having fun either. That's why she didn't have kids with him. Tell me your thoughts about that in the comments. Be sure to like, share, watch more videos, and subscribe to the channel.